Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So let's watch Danny Jones's full, unedited defense of Ammon Hillman and ancient Greek, and everyone who reads it.
Oh, this is the goddess of period blood. You know the stupid shit these people do? Well, you know that guy, the drinking guy. Boy, he took being Greek real serious, huh? Boy, he takes being Greek to the next...
Well, he reads all the Greek shit, and it's all about that stuff. All those people were doing all that fucking crazy shit.
I know.
They found that cup in Tampa. You know that? The Museum of Tampa? Yeah. They found that ancient Egyptian cup with like period blood, breast milk in it and shit.
Wash your cups out, people. Yo, don't use the same period cup for your...
Yeah, right. After all these fucking years, you couldn't put it in the dishwasher?
There's
Jesus
Starfire
Christ.
and blah, blah. There's a whole thing of cannibalism and drinking blood with specific bloodlines, and there's a way to become... well, I'm just telling you the lore. I don't say it. I believe in this, but people believe in it, where it's like you could become quantumly entangled with someone leaving that's dying, you know?
Oh, yeah. What is that about?
It's something with 8 hertz on
Who
water.
was just telling us about this?
You know, it's 8 terahertz or some frequency that water could take on into the interdimensional properties, supposedly, whatever that means. And but we're made out of water, so I wonder what those hertz would do to us if we did. You know, humans are a big bag of, you're like a big bag of water.
Or a chemical bag, yeah.
That's right. That's why your boy with that used to be fat, but now he's a wizard. He'll tell you he's right, and he's not wrong. Humans are a medium. That's why you call it a spirit medium. They're just
a wizard.
Your boy, the
Ammon.
He's a jizzard. He's a dark black jizzard.
Well, no, he thinks Jesus was a wizard.
What's he doing? Not drinking.
I don't know. Who knows?
Again, I'm still okay. Fair enough. These are strong charges against Jesus. You're against that, though, right, sir? No, you're not against it. Okay. Well, you're against doing stuff to kids, though, right?
Yeah, he's against it. Yeah, he says he's against it.
Okay.
He says he's against all the pedophilia stuff.
Forgive me if I.
That's why he's anti-Jesus, because he thinks Jesus was into that stuff.
So just to get his story straight that you're telling me, because of his anti-PDF file feelings, he's against Jesus, but really into Greeks. Is that the
into the Greek language?
Yeah, it's the most pedo thing there is.
Here's his whole shit.
If you're into Greek shit, you're into a boy. Hey, I mean,
well, the Greeks were all into that shit. Yeah,
that's right. That's right. They were. So that's weird that you would be all into that, and then go, "Oh, Jesus, I heard he did that." Did you hear it from a Greek? I bet you did.
He says that when you start reading all the Greek, it like reshapes your brain.
It grooms you.
It changes the way you think. He's like, because
I want to see that footage of him when he's fat and has a beard that I can't find no more, and it's been scrubbed.
What footage?
Oh, dude, it's great. It's him giving his speech. He don't talk like that in his old videos, where he's like fat and you can't find him no more. It's like trying to find Tina Fey's fat pictures. They don't exist.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't think I've seen that.
Tina Fey used to be fat on SNL. She'd be a writer standing up.
Oh no, I know. I'm talking about him. I'm talking about the video of him.
Stupid.
Bravo, Danny. Bravo. That's your defense of Ammon Hillman and myself and everyone who reads ancient Greek and who's into Greek, okay? If you're into Greek, you're into a boy. Go fuck yourself, Kurt. And Danny, that is the worst defense I've ever goddamn seen. You're sitting there now saying, oh yeah, that's a defense of Ammon Hillman and ancient Greek and everyone who reads it. When this cunt has just said, if you're into Greek, you're into a boy. Yeah? That's your defense? So he's insinuating that me, Ammon, and everyone who reads ancient Greek or is into ancient Greek, the language is what you said, is a PDF. Yeah? Go fuck yourself. If this is your idea of a defense of Ammon and ancient Greek, saying, yeah, the Greeks were into that. Oh, they found the best cup. I've already shown. The best cup shows exactly what the sources say in Revelation. What I just showed in my last video. Revelation says the same thing as you're bringing up in the archaeology that you always love to bring up.
He's a wizard.
Your boy, the
Ammon.
Yeah, that's hilarious. He's a jizz wizard. That's hilarious. Haha, because I'm sitting with a comedian. I've got to laugh and pretend it's funny. Fuck you.
He's a jizzard. He's a dark black jizzard.
Well, no, he thinks Jesus was a wizard.
What's he doing? Not drinking?
I don't know.
There you go. That's the I don't know. What's Jesus doing? Not drinking fucking whatever he's talking about? Yeah, which is the cup that I've shown of abominations. That's the fucking cup in Revelation.
It was the voice.
That was the antidote to it.
That is the antidote. He says, let this cup pass.
Right here in 36. And he said, Abba, Father, all things are possible unto thee. Take away this cup from me. Nevertheless, not what I will, but what thou wilt. This is King James. Take this cup away from me. Now we're going to see what is that cup.
What is that cup? Apocalypse, the Revelation?
Yes.
And the woman was arrayed in purple, porphyros, and scarlet, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. Sexual fluids. You drink the cup of her abominations.
And the great enemy of God is that lady's cup, which is full of porneia. You have to drink the boy's porneia
To survive.
in order to survive.
And as I showed you, the boy that he's arrested with, the neoniskos, is his cup. Straight translation. And a certain tis neoniskos. It says neoniskos, used of a young attendant or servant. Paidiske, feminine version of paidiskos, a young boy or slave. See, neoniskos. Now this is the biblical lexicon BDAG. A young man functioning as a servant, which can also be in our modern terms a slave. Sunakaluthe was attending to him, not just following. He was attending to Jesus like a servant or a slave would attend to someone, clothed with a sindona, a linen bandage upon gumno, his nakedness. And they arrested him. He then, katalipon, he left ten sindona, the bandage, and efugan fled gumnos naked. That's the straight translation.
Oh, this is the goddess of period blood. You know the stupid shit these people do? Well, you know that guy, the drinking guy.
Yeah, the one that showed us all the information and all the sources. And then you talk about the best cup that has the vaginal and oral fluids in it. And blood, and mucus, breast milk, psychotropic drugs. It's all there in the archaeology and the sources.
Boy, he took being Greek real serious, huh? Boy, he takes being Greek to the next...
Well, he reads all the Greek shit, and it's all about that stuff. All those people were doing all that fucking crazy shit.
No.
They found that cup in Tampa. You know that? The Museum of Tampa?
Which proves everything that Ammon's been saying in the ancient texts. So you're going to use that as evidence, but you don't talk about the textual evidence with Jesus. That's what I'm saying. Why do you bring up the archaeology when you don't bring up what the New Testament says, when this guy says, what's Jesus doing?
They found that ancient Egyptian cup with like period blood, breast milk in it and shit. Analyzed the proteins and metabolites. The authors found that the mug contained residues of psychotropic substances that included harmala, Syrian rue, blue water lily. They also found evidence of human blood, bodily fluids such as oral or vaginal mucus, and breast milk.
Wash your cups out, people.
And see what happens? It's deflection. This is how Kurt Metzger responds to evidence. Deflection, because he can't fucking handle it. He can't react to it in real time and go, oh shit, I've been caught. There's fucking evidence that proves Ammon's been saying. Ha 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 ha.
That's why your boy with that used to be fat, but now he's a wizard. He'll tell you he's right, and he's not wrong. Humans are a medium. That's why he called it a spirit medium. They're just
like, wizard.
Your boy, the
Ammon.
He's a jizzard. He's a dark black jizzard.
Well, no, he thinks Jesus was a wizard.
What's he doing? Not drinking?
I don't know. Who knows?
Again,
he said Jesus was a jizz wizard. And then Kurt says, what's he doing? That's when you bring up the textual evidence that says, here's what it says in Revelation. Here's what it says in Mark 14. Here's all the textual evidence that you've seen. Not sit there with a comedian and just say, I don't know, who knows? Here in Matthew 17:24-27, it says the sons are exempt. Take that and give it to them for me, Jesus, and you, Peter. Now, how do we know that they were under the age of 20? It says everyone that passes the survey from 20 years old and upwards shall give the offering. Peter was of age, looking like he would have had to pay the tax, so at least 20 years old. But all the rest of them, the other 11 disciples, apostles, didn't have to pay the tax, so they would have been at least 19 and below. That's what the text says.
Okay, fair enough. These are strong charges against Jesus.
Yeah, they are. Bring up the text and what it says. Don't just sit there and go, I don't know, who knows? Show him to his face, show us all.
You're against that though, right, sir? No, you're not against it. Okay. Well, you're against doing stuff to kids though, right?
Yeah, he's against it. Yeah, he says he's against it.
Okay.
He says he's against all the pedophilia stuff.
Forgive me if I...
That's why he's anti-Jesus.
So Kurt was kind of going away from it, saying, "Oh, forgive me if I..." And then he brought up Jesus, and then here's his response.
Because he thinks Jesus was into that stuff.
So just to get his story straight that you're telling me, because of his anti-PDF file feelings, he's against Jesus, but really into Greeks. Is that the?
into the Greek language.
Yeah, it's the most pedo thing there is.
Here's his.
The Greek language is the most pedo thing there is. Okay.
Yeah, it's the most
here's
pedo thing there is.
Here's his whole
If you're
shit.
into Greek shit, you're into a boy.
Right there. Good job, Kurt. You just called everyone who studies, reads, is interested in ancient Greek, the language, a pedo. You said they're into a boy. So you're putting me in that camp now, you stupid fat fuck. Go fuck yourself. And Danny Jones is if this is your defense of Ammon Hillman and everyone who reads Greek right here, what did he say?
Well, the Greeks were all into that shit. Yeah, the Greeks.
That's right. They were. So that's weird that you would be all into that.
Yeah, gigantic extrapolation. Oh, there's references to pederasty in ancient Greece, and it connects with Jesus. So if you like reading, see how he's trying to separate religion and ancient Greek again. This is all what they try to do. They try to separate Jesus and the religion, the Christianity, from ancient Greek to project it onto someone else and everyone else who reads it and saying you're into boys. No, we're reading the text and saying this is what it says. I've said in my other video, we're not into this. We're not supporting this. We're not saying I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying supporting it. I'm not saying this is what you should do. I'm saying this is what the text says Jesus was doing. I'll show it again. Washing the feet of his children, students, pupils, disciples, apostles, children apostles, while he is naked. He arose from supper, Jesus, and laid aside his outer garments. He took a towel and wrapped around his waist. He then poured water into the basin and began to wash the disciples' feet. He began to wipe them with the towel that was wrapped around him. So he's wiping the children's feet. We know the apostles are children. I've already shown you that. He was wiping their children's feet with the towel that was around him. So he is, as Ammon said, naked as he's washing the disciples' feet, the children's feet. And I told you Jesus was a Christ because he was able to spit on the ground and epichrist someone. It says he spits on the ground and mixes earth and spit and epichrists the man's eyes so he can see again. That's a Christ, which means his body fluids, or by touching him, he is able to drug you. As a 33-year-old man, you're telling me Jesus wasn't a fucking pedo?
And they go, oh, Jesus, I heard he did that. Did you hear it from a Greek?
No, I heard it from the New Testament itself. You read the New Testament. Everyone back then was speaking Greek and writing in Greek. You know why? Because it was the most advanced language of the time. Why wouldn't people be speaking Greek? You haven't read Greek. And to say you hear it from a Greek, who wrote it? According to the Bible scholars, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, coming from the apostles themselves. Or at least it's attributed to the stories that were told by them. So yeah, it's coming from Jesus' own boys. And if you want to read any of the apocryphal texts, holy shit. Yeah, look at the stuff they did in India. You want to read the heretical texts? Yeah, look what Jesus and Mary were doing. Mary, aiskurgia, given Jesus fellatio, and then he wanted to do it to the kids. Yeah, good job, you fucking idiot.
I bet you did.
He says that when you start reading all the Greek, it like reshapes your brain.
It molests you. He was going to say molest you, and then he changed it to say grooms you. Okay, yeah, ancient Greek molest. See, this guy is so fucked up. You're the one that's going there and saying, oh, it molests you, it grooms you to be pedo. Like, fuck you. And you're obfuscating reality. Because Danny, sitting in front of you, doesn't want to bring up the text that says, yes, Jesus was doing these things. Yeah, it's written in ancient Greek because that's the original language of the Gospels. And Jesus was doing this stuff. And they're trying to deflect and obfuscate, saying, oh, well, don't look at Jesus over here. Don't look at Jesus over here. Ammon's doing this, and everyone who wants to read Greek and who is into Greek is one of these people. Disgustingly disingenuous from this guy. And then Danny's defense of it, oh, I've got to give him a standing ovation for letting Kurt call everyone who reads ancient Greek a fucking pedophile.
And they go, oh, Jesus, I heard he did that. Did you hear it from a Greek? I bet you did.
Right there, that's when you bring up the ancient Greek text of the New Testament showing Jesus was washing his little children's feet while he was naked. Arrested with a naked boy, naked youth slave, while he was ekdam beisthai kai hadamonain. I've shown these texts so many times. They're all there for you. He was sorely troubled, dismayed, and in anguish and amazement. That's what Jesus was doing, falling over in the garden while he was with a youth servant who ran off naked. That's where you bring up the text. That's where you defend Ammon and everyone who reads Greek by saying, don't obfuscate and say, oh, because Jesus did something. That's what he said.
That's right, they were. So that's weird that you would be all into that. And they go, oh, Jesus,
No, not I heard. You read the text in ancient Greek and what was happening around the ancient Greek-speaking world at the time, the same time as what was happening with Jesus, which I've done, which you can have a look at Lucian. Again, he's talking about Alexander, the false prophet, who was a guy who had servants, who was doing drugs, using serpents, just like Jesus, who was healing the sick and raising people from the dead. This was happening at the same time, or written about at the same time as Jesus, 1st, 2nd century AD. And it's telling you what a leistes is. Someone who's doing wicked things, and he is in the ancient drug trade. We've got drugs. What else have we got? He was a servant. He himself was professedly a public physician. What's Jesus? In Greek, it means a healer and physician. He healed the sick. Does that sound familiar? And in some cases, he actually raised the dead. This is exactly the same thing as Jesus is doing. So all these things were happening at the same time. Contemporary with Jesus, they were both happening at the same time. You can't separate these two ideas and stories. Ancient Greek and Jesus. It's all in the same category.
Did you hear it from a Greek? I bet you did.
He says that when you start reading all the Greek, it like reshapes your brain.
It grooms you?
And then he's trying to say, oh, ancient Greek is a grooming tool now. Okay, not Jesus is a fucking grooming pedophile, like the text says. Let's just obfuscate and divert the narrative in the story to saying everyone who's into this is a pedo, not Jesus. See how they want to get you right away from Jesus.
It changes the way you think. He's like, because
I want to see that footage of him when he's...
And then he deflects about, oh, I want to see the footage when he's fat. Like, he's not. I've shown it before. You can find the footage. He says it's scrubbed from the internet. That's a lie. Kurt Metzger lied. This is the video he's talking about. Cannabis Roots, The Hidden History of Marijuana, Dr. David Hillman. 13 years ago, 27,000 views. And you can see him here. He's got glasses, he's got the hair, he's got the beard. He's not fat, like compared to this guy. He knows about it. He's lying to you right now to obfuscate and deflect from what's actually happening. Because Danny can't pull up the sources and do it himself. There you go, right there. Danny Jones, great defense of Ammon Hillman. Yeah, he did. He says he's against the pedophilia and all that. And then this guy wants to obfuscate and lie about everything and divert you from the truth, saying, oh, ancient Greek is separate from Jesus, calling me and everyone else who's into ancient Greek, even the classicists who have been throughout history, calling them all pederasts. All right, that's where you want to go with this? That's your defense of Ammon Hillman and the sources. Don't worry about Ammon or me or anyone who reads it. That's your defense of the sources that this guy wants to talk about and obfuscate, trying to make a divide between Jesus and ancient Greek when you cannot do it. They're exactly the same. And if you did your job, Danny, and brought up the sources to this idiot right here, then you could have showed to his face, nah, look at it. Jesus is washing the children's feet while he's naked, arrested with a naked youth servant, slave. His boy Peter, when Jesus is in his trial, which is what Ammon told you, Peter is identified by multiple underage female prostitutes, as the text says. Paidiske, a young female slave, especially a prostitute. So there's two of them who identify Peter as being with the Nazarene, Yesu. And then it references another Paidiske down here. Peter is being identified by multiple underage female prostitutes as being one of Jesus's boys. Why didn't you bring all this up and show, yeah, Jesus, by all accounts, what it looks like, he was a pedo. And Peter, who was about the age of 20, was being identified by underage female prostitutes as being one of Jesus' boys. This is all in the text. And this guy has no fucking idea about it. And he's trying to obfuscate the truth and reality. And Danny sits there and, oh, that's an amazing defense, Danny. I got to give you a standing ovation for that. Bullshit. Bullshit. Protect the sources. When idiots like this come on your channel and have no idea what they're talking about. Or if they do, in worst case scenario, they do know what is in the Bible and they're lying to you.